Hi, Cecile here at Just Another Button Company with a little tutorial on a fun way that we have for stitching on spool buttons. We have some new spool buttons that are featured in our new home pattern, and Rachel has put together this pattern to go with the home box for the Button Lovers Club people. And I just wanted to show you an up-close shot of, here are some spools that we created especially for this Button Lovers Club box. You can see they've been drilled and sewn on right there. But here's a fun alternative way. The navy blue spool, when Rachel stitched this one on, she stitched through the holes to anchor the button, but then she also made thread lines across the spool. Makes it look more realistic. So we're going to show you how we do that. It's really simple. All right, so lay that aside. And here is a look at the buttons that are in the word pack inside the Button Lovers Club box this month. The box is home, and as you may have seen on the wall hanging that I just showed you, we're going with home sewn, so there's a little bit of a sewing theme going on here. We have a pincushion button and a strawberry emery and 3 spools, and then just some cute little floral things to make it go along with the beautiful homegrown fabric from Art to Heart. Okay, so today we're focusing on a fun way to sew on the spools, so I'm going to move these other buttons off. I just want to point out too, before I move off the pincushion and the strawberry emery there, that if you're sewing these onto a project, wouldn't it be fun just to embroider a tiny little line right there to show the strawberry emery hanging off the side. Ooh, you know what else you could do? You could embroider a pin coming up out of the pincushion. Have to save that for a future day. Okay, so I threaded some needles with threads that are sort of in the same color families as my 3 spool buttons here. We're calling these our skinny spools. And you can tell that even though we have pink, aqua, and navy here, there are contrasting thread lines in quotes, across there. And when you sew on your buttons, if you sew through these 2 holes here first, if you want to do the decorative thread lines with the actual stitching, over top you can either go with the color of contrast that we put on each one, or you can choose something that matches the background pink or aqua or blue color. So let's work with I think we're probably going to get the best contrast maybe with the navy spool. So we're going to do that. So what color threads would we use? We made the spool with the navy shaded toward the middle with the lightest color, and then took a brighter blue. So I have 2 needles threaded here with some blues that I kind of like. So I'm just going to choose one of those. All right. So the first thing I want to do is choose the spot for my spool. I'm sewing it to a hoop today just for demonstration purposes, but you have all watched me sew on a button before. I like to anchor a double thread by sewing through, clipping off the tails, and then I sew up through one hole, down through the other hole, take a little bite of the fabric there. That's just a little bit longer than the space between the holes. That keeps a long button like this from wobbling back and forth. I didn't pull it completely tight, so I'm going to sew up, make sure it moves. That's important in the next step. Sew back down. Okay, now I'm going to kind of walk it down. Pull a little bit this way, pull a little bit up on the button, kind of work it down. till the button is snug against the fabric. Okay, now if I was just going to sew through the holes, now I would take a securing stitch on the back to knot the thread. And just to be safe, I'm going to do that anyways. Okay, now let's do a little bit of decorative stitching. So I could just follow these lines across here, but if that line doesn't exactly meet this one, that might make it look like I made a mistake. So I'm just going to go, a little bit lower on this side. So this is the loose end of the thread that you wound back around your spool just before you finished the last time. All right, so I came up on this side, I went down on this side, so I'm going to actually wrap the thread around the back of the spool too. The whole effect will be much less wobbly if I actually go across the spool from the front and from the back instead of going down here and coming up on the same side. Then your spool is going to wobble. All right, so I went down on that side, come back up on the other side. All right, when I'm coming up now, I want to be sure, all right, exaggeration, not there, not there, not there. I really want to come up right just under the edge there. Not too far under, but enough that it looks like the thread is disappearing behind the spool. Okay, this time I'm going to make a nice cross. You know how when you're wrapping that last bit of thread around there, how it's never as neatly wound as it is when you first buy that fresh new spool. Okay, and you can add as many rows as you want to. I think I'm going to be happy after I put just one more on there. Yep, I like it just like that. You can see all the rows of stitches there. Make the spool just look a little bit more fun. And then you flip it over and tie off your thread, or my favorite method is to come up underneath the middle of the button from behind, like that. Wrap around. Oop, can't do it that way, can you? All right. Can't wrap around because we've done all those other stitches. I didn't think about that ahead of time, so we're gonna just sew underneath a couple of times like that. Okay, till the thread is secured, and then clip it off. Fun. Okay. Thanks for joining us in the Button Company studio and for learning how to wrap a spool button.